Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my World Cup preview series. This will be the first video about Group A. Group A consists of South Africa, France, Uruguay, and Mexico. And first, we're going to just make a little analysis about, talk a little bit about South Africa. South Africa is the host, and as we all know, hosts always do well at World Cups. I mean, hosts always reaches at least the round of 16. So South Africa has something to live up to in that respect. South Africa has been in the World Cup twice before, 1998 and 2002, both first round exits. They're quite low ranked on the FIFA ranking, and nobody's really expecting them to do particularly well. Quite a few people are predicting that they're going to be the first hosts to crash out in the first round. The group they're in is not easy, but it's not the toughest group either. Let's see what I think about the team. Well, first of all, they have a coach, Carlos Alberto Pereira. The Brazilian coach. He led Brazil to the 1994 World Cup victory. He was also the coach of Brazil in 2006. Crashed out in the quarterfinals against France back then. But he has more than enough experience. He was also the coach of Saudi Arabia in 1998 in the World Cup, crashing out first round. Also of the United Arab Emirates in 1990, also crashing out in the first round. And also of Kuwait in 1982. And Pereira actually never won a World Cup match outside of playing with Brazil. So yeah, he's an experienced coach, and he has shown that with a good team he can perform well. But he's certainly no miracle doctor. He has coached 4 teams, and they have crashed out in the first round. Pretty much what you would expect. So yeah, I think his experience will only benefit the team, but it's no guarantee of any great achievements. Well, let's look at the team itself. By far the best player is Steven Pienaar, player of Everton, midfielder. Was selected to be player of the year at Everton. Had a good season. He's a good all-round midfielder, really very technically skillful. Used to play for Ajax and Borussia Dortmund. Yeah, by far their best player. In terms of defense, they got Aaron Mokoena, probably their most famous player. He plays for Portsmouth in England. He's had a decent season, although Portsmouth got relegated, of course. He also played before for Blackburn Rovers and Ajax. Good defender. Basically, these are him and Pienaar are the 2 players that you would expect on a World Cup stage to perform. Basically, after these 2 guys, it's pretty long slide down when you look at the rest. Look at the rest of the squad. The overwhelming majority plays in the South African League. Now, the South African League is probably one of the best paying African leagues and best organized African leagues. But it's still an African league, and really, if you want to achieve anything in football, you need to play at least in Europe or South America, perhaps. And any decent African player should go to Europe. I have a couple of guys that went to Europe but failed, and then came back to South Africa, so who knows. We can go through the rounds. In central defense, they got Bongani Khumalo of SuperSport United. They were actually champions last season. He was their captain, so he's supposed to be a decent defender. I don't know him very well. But they also have Matthew Booth, who used to play for Krylia Sovetov Samara in Russia for a couple of years. Now he's back in South Africa playing for Mamelodi Sundowns. He's going to be a stand-in. He's going to be benched because the center defense is going to be Khumalo with Mokoena. Looking at the midfield, the kind of number 10 playmakerish type of player is Teko Modise. Some people are a fan of him, but he's 27 years old, still plays in the South African League, has never played in Europe, has really not achieved much in his career. I haven't been too impressed with him either when I've seen him play, but then again, who knows? He may surprise us. But yeah, he's at least a skillful player. Should be the main passer of the ball in the midfield, really. Furthermore, you also have on midfield a guy called Let's Holonyane of Kaiser Chiefs, also South Africa. He has been playing reasonably well in the past few friendlies, scoring a couple of goals here and there. He looks to be a starter in the games in the group stage. They also have a guy called Macbeth Sibaya. He does play in Europe. He plays for Rubin Kazan in Russia. Now, Rubin Kazan, of course, did quite well in the Champions League. They went out in the first round, but they did beat Barcelona. He was a member of that team. Rubin Kazan was also champions of Russia in 2008 and 2009. So, if he can hold his own on that level, he must be a decent player. But in the warm-up friendlies, he's been only coming in as a substitute, so I'm not sure if he's going to be a starter. But in terms of reputation, one of the bigger players. And then up front, well, the main guy lately has been Katlego Mfela, top scorer of the South African League, also player of the year, I believe, in South African League. Has been scoring quite a few goals against Colombia, against Denmark, against Guatemala. So he should be their number one goal scorer. And then the second guy is Bernard Parker, who did quite well in the Confederations Cup last year. Earned a transfer to FC Twente in Holland. Twente, of course, became champions, but Parker had no real role in it because he was mostly playing for the second team. He came on as a substitute a few times, but that's it. So he's been kind of disappointing in his first real season in Europe. So he's probably going to come off the bench as a substitute. But yeah, overall, when you look at the team, a few players that have failed in Europe, a lot of players who are playing the South African League, and really only one player that you would expect of the level that you would expect in the second round of the World Cup, which is Steven Pienaar. Everybody else is basically below par. That's why people are saying South Africa is going to make history by being the first host of the World Cup to crash out in the first round. It is possible. Biggest problem they have, I think, is scoring goals going forward, and actually creating chances is their biggest worry. So yeah, it's going to be difficult for them. But then again, in Soccer City, 90,000 South Africans supporting them, rooting for them. Yeah, who knows? I mean, they did beat Denmark the other day in a friendly. It was certainly a good performance. They also beat Colombia. That's a pretty good result as well for a team like South Africa. So, and they've actually been undefeated in 11 games, and they don't concede a lot of goals. So, yeah, who knows? I mean, they might make it. You can see the images of some of the friendlies against Guatemala and Colombia. Yeah, I think they concede few goals. They're going to be difficult to beat. They're going to be very, very excited, of course, for this World Cup. They're going to give more than 100%, obviously. But the question is, who's going to score their goals? And playing against Uruguay, Mexico, and France, yeah, I think they have what it takes to possibly get to the second round. It's possible, but yeah, who knows if they're going to make it? But I'll give you my final prediction in the prediction video later. So that's it for my analysis of South Africa. Be sure to check out my next video about France. Thank you.